Hi guys, Zach here with another Command & Conquer Red Alert video. In this game I'm playing a 3v3 match on the map Arena Valley Extreme. I'm starting in the top left hand position playing as the Soviets. Now in this game we've got an extra rule which I did about a couple of months ago maybe, and the rule is that no one's going to attack each other for 4 minutes. So we've sort of got like 4 minutes peacetime before any player attacks. And when that 4 minutes is up, what I'll do is I'll type in chat so everyone knows, because when I was playing these games, I was actually timing it on a stopwatch, so we got the exact timing. And now I'm just sending some infantry down at the moment because we are allowed to do scouting. That's absolutely fine. What we're not allowed to do though is like do an infantry rush, let's say, like take 10 infantry in a base and try and destroy buildings. We're just allowed to send single infantry through and just get a bit more map visibility, and of course being able to block the other infantry for getting information on our side of the map. So you can see both my teammate as well sending infantry down, further down, and there you can see Yellow Nose sending infantry across the map. He's trying to find a way into our base just so you can get some of that extra information, because it just provides tactical advantage to know whether you can attack your enemy or not, and to know what to expect. Do they have Tesla? Do they have flame towers? How many tanks do they have? How many war factories do they have? Or trucks? All those sorts of things can help you determine whether you want to attack or not. Now when you have peacetime, the start does change quite a bit, and you can see I've built a service depot. Now if I was playing a game without peacetime, there is no way I would build a service depot in this situation, because I'd know that I'd be vulnerable to an early attack, and I would get attacked early and I would die. So I've changed it quite a bit from what I would usually do. But the reason I'm getting a service depot, of course, as many of you'll know, is so I can build MCVs, and when you've got 4 minutes peacetime, it's definitely the best tactic to go for. Produce a couple of MCVs, extra construction yards, and that's going to increase the building speed of structures quite a bit, and it's just going to make my start a lot faster. So now you can see me expanded to my second ore patch. I'm currently building structures at twice as fast as I would normally do, and then when I get my third MCV and construction yard deployed, then I'm going to produce them even faster. So that's going to just help me a lot in the long run, and if you're playing with 4 minutes peacetime, it is definitely better to build those early MCVs. It's going to put you in a much better situation later on. You do even see this tactic used in quick matches sometimes, and that's when Soviets are against allies, because they know Soviets know if they go multi-MCV, as long as they can survive early on, it puts them in a better situation later on. But then what they need to do, of course, is they need to find a way of delaying the allied play so they don't attack as early as they would usually do. And now I'm getting another war factory out, so I'm going to be on my 4th war factory, so I'm going to have a really good tank building speed. And you can see I've expanded quite far down south, and that's how far you can expand when you use this tactic. Of course, I can't really expand any further, otherwise that would be I'll be running into my enemy. So that's as far as I can expand for now. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to build some Tesla coils just for a bit of extra defense before the 4 minutes are up. So when I do get attacked, at least I'm going to have something to defend with, just to give my tanks a helping hand. And now I'm going to get my radar dome up as well, just so I can see what's going on in different parts of the map. And you do have that luxury, and we can see cyan right below us, and we could also see yellow to the bottom left of us. And we've got red and green on the map as well, our allies. And now we're going to bring our tanks down, because we've allowed them to attack. And we can see cyan going for the early attack on those ore trucks. I should have really had a Tesla coil ready to deploy, but I was trying not to, because they didn't know when they could attack. And I'm going to have to go back now, because we can see that yellow is at the other side of my base, and he was just going to go straight up there. So unfortunately I had to pull back from that cyan position, and I have lost some more trucks there, but it's unavoidable, unfortunately. And now I've got a bit of a problem, because I've got cyan at one side of my base, I've got yellow at the other, and this just makes it a bit hard. I'm going to have to send some tanks in there against cyan. I do have some Tesla to defend as well, although they've been taken out, and now green is sending some tanks in, but I have lost some more trucks there. and I've lost some tanks and some defences as well. So yeah, I'm just going to need to try and push them back. But now you can see that yellow is pushing in once again, and I've just had to build a power plant there, and I'm going to try and build more Tesla and just bulk up those defences to try and hold position. But you can see yellow pushing up the map, and cyan there as well, just building a Tesla there just to help green, and hopefully we're going to be able to get that cyan army whittled down a little bit. And now I'm just trying to hold position right at the moment, but you can see that cyan army is doing quite well against green, and it does look like cyan's going to be able to push up the map a little bit more. So I'm gonna, the thing is, I go to the right, then yellow comes up the map, I split my army, then yellow will have a massive army compared to me, so I will still lose. So there's not much I can do really here. I just need to hold ground for now. And yeah, I should put that Tesla coil a bit further back, because it got destroyed quite quickly there. But now just trying to hold position as much as I can, because we can see at the other side of the map, red is doing very well against orange, and it looks like orange is going to be soon out of the game. So what I'm trying to do now is just buy as much time as possible. And we can just see the cyan tanks sitting at the other side of my base, and now they're going for that ore refinery, and it will go down. And also that war factory doesn't stand a chance at the moment. It doesn't matter too much about losing that war factory though, as I don't have the funds anyway to use the advanced tank building speed. And now I'm just pulling back a little bit into the safety of the Tesla coils. Good with the Tesla coils, at least I can put up a bit better of a fight, because I'm going to need that Tesla power. But now you can see Nose going with the Tesla crawl, and those Teslas are going to go over the map, and you can see now he's doing power plants, because what Nose will have is he's had a little bit of time to build up, he's had an untouched base, and he'll have a good economy behind this, and now we'll be able to push up the map slowly but surely. And what I'm trying to do now is just buy as much time as possible, because now we can see that I can't see orange on the map anymore, and we can see that red has a decent army on the right side of the map, so we're going to have to rely a bit on that. And yeah, as I go back a little bit, I have that Tesla power, which is just helping my tanks a little bit against those heavy tanks of Nose. But what I'm going to need to do now is pull these ore trucks a little bit further back, especially now that the Tesla coils are in range, and we'll need to move them to the other, yeah, just trying to get that out of the way, actually get them up to that top ore patch, where they'll be a little bit safe for a bit longer, because now we can see that red and green are working together against cyan, and we'll have to see where they're able to get with that. And I can just see create there, so I'm going to see if I can send my infantry there to gather it, see what it has, as my tanks just pulling them back a little bit just into the safety of the Tesla. Unfortunately the crate does disappear. It could have been useful if it was a money box or something. We can see also yellow with the spy plane. He was just scouting out the back of my base there, just to see what I've got. And now you can see the Tesla firing up on his tanks. I'm just holding my tanks back a little bit, just so I can use the Tesla as well. But as you can see, that Nose, he's just putting those power plants forwards, and he's building more Tesla of own. So he's just doing a very slow base crawl towards my base. And as I say, at the moment, what I'm doing is there's no way I can beat him, because he's too far ahead, and he's got too much map control. All I can do is buy as much time as possible, and just hope my allies are able to have a good fight on the other side of the map. I can see from the radar dome, they are starting to push down the middle, so we'll have to see how well they do against Carter, because you can see my base is starting to go down now. The Tesla's inside my base, the heavy tanks are inside my base, I'm losing all my tanks, and I don't have a good economy to back myself up, so this is just going to be the death is going to be accelerated now. As you can see, now he's starting to target my extra MCVs. As I say, I'm not too worried about those though, because they don't have much. I can't use the advanced building speed anyway. And you can just see those yellow buildings getting closer and closer. So I'm just trying to save as much time as possible and just destroy as many yellow tanks. At least yellow doesn't have a large army, so if he does win this, well, he will destroy my base, but once he wins against my base, then at least he's going to, he's not going to have a large army to attack the other team, not initially anyway. I'm just having a look at how they're doing now, and you can see that red has a massive army of light tanks, and he's pushing right through that cyan base. As for me now, all I can do is just try and buy as much time as possible, as I've said, but there's just nothing I can do against those yellow tanks. There's too many of them. I've only got 3 tanks left, and shortly my last building is going to go down, unfortunately, and there I'm officially out of the game. But our team still has red with a massive light tank army. We've got green, who seems to have a decent number of heavy tanks as well. But what I think we need to do at the moment is that green needs to go back and defend the bases, as we have yellow coming in with his heavy tank army of yellow tanks. And I think he's got a pretty good production speed, because what red can do here is he can handle it by himself, and green could defend both bases. Because that red tank army is just massive, and it will be able to tear through both bases if given the opportunity. It just needs the time to do so, as yellow destroys green's MCV, and now is going to go further down the base. If we can just defend this position, we will be okay. We just need to slow this yellow army down, and red needs to hopefully be able to get into the bases. Now we can see green's tanks coming in to defend. He still has 3 construction yards built, so he will be able to build some defences. I'm just having a look at the defences from yellow at the moment, and now red just destroying some of the remaining orange base. I didn't actually realise orange was still in the game, but it appears so. And now green and yellow are having a bit of a fight there. It doesn't look like orange has got much left, but he does have some tanks, and hopefully they won't cause too much havoc. But now red going and destroying those remaining buildings of cyan, and I can just see that orange construction yard still okay. And I think what he must have done is he must have had a hidden construction yard, MCV, somewhere, and just had it held back. So he was okay earlier on, but now we can see that green and yellow are having a bit of an equal fight. I just hope that green doesn't push too far forwards, otherwise he's going to be in the Tesla fire, and he's going to lose a lot of those tanks. And now we see cyan just trying to build as much as possible and just stay alive, but it looks like those final structures are going down, and that's Carter officially out of the game, so that's quite a big win here. I'm just wondering, does red need to go for orange now, because he does have a couple of buildings there, and hopefully those will be the last structures of orange, and once he's destroyed those, it will just be Nose left in the game. Unfortunately now green's army has been diminished, and now Nose is starting to push forwards, and orange will be out of the game in a matter of moments, and then it'll be just red against yellow. And the question is, should red go and fight the yellow army head on, or should he go into the back of yellow's base? That is the big question at the moment. And now we can see that yellow is destroying those green buildings. So green's just trying to buy as much time as possible, a bit like what I was doing earlier on in the game. It's a big question here, because I don't know how good yellow's economy is. It depends. But now we can see that red is chosen to go for the back of yellow's base. But yellow does have a big base. You saw him do that big base crawl up north earlier on against me. And he does have a lot of Tesla, which perform quite well against light tanks. But when you got light tanks in these massive numbers, things can be a bit different. We'll also have to see if red decides to split the army, because when you got like big armies at the end of the game, that can be sometimes a good idea, and then just provide defense and defense at the same time. Red now in the core of yellow's base, taking out some of those vital buildings. We see that service depot going down, and now some of those construction yards. We can see 2 there right in the back of his base, so that'll slow his structure building speed down at the moment, but now it's just devolved into a base race, and we're just going to see who can destroy whose base faster. We can see that red has quite a large army, but also yellow will be tearing through red's base. You can see he's left green, and he's just going for red's base, and it does look, unfortunately, like Nose is going to be able to win this game, because he's just tearing through red's base, and red has too many buildings to destroy, and red is officially out of the game. So yeah, I think maybe, I mean, it's very easy to say in hindsight, but I think maybe if red had gone for that yellow army, he could have destroyed all of his tanks, and he possibly would have had a big enough army just to keep on pushing forwards, and also green might have been some help there. But as I say, I don't know what red's economy was like. I didn't really see that much of it, so it might have been that he wasn't in a very good state himself. I'm not sure with that game. For me at the start though, I had Nose at like one side of my base, I had Carter at the other end, and there was not much I could do there, unfortunately, because when you have, I'm about equal strength to Nose, and Carter's also really good playing. When you got both of those players at two ends of your base, there's not really much you can do. Just buy as much time as possible. And in the end, it was a close game. Anyway, that's how that game went. So, hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching.